Lemons. Most people see just something that's very bitter, something that's very sour. When we saw lemons, we saw an opportunity.
Hi guys, my name is Nafisa Cofounder of NG, and today we're here at the Wilson's Lemonade Factory, as you can see, and we will be giving you a full coverage of the entire factory, plus an interview with one of the founders of Wilson's Lemonade. Come along.
Mama Grace is our mother, our literal mother. She's our figurative mother, and as well as our literal mother. She's been a source of inspiration to us, and from while we were young, she just never let us find a good excuse for not doing anything we put our mind to. So anything that comes our way, she would always say, and so, what are you going to do? So she kind of imbibed in us from a very young age this, no matter what comes, what's more important is how do you face it, that type of mentality. Lemons. Most people see just something that's very bitter, something that's very sour. When we saw lemons, we saw an opportunity, right? And it's kind of going back to how Mama Grace trained us when we were growing up. That is, in everything, find the opportunity. In everything, create an opportunity. So from lemons to lemonade is outside of this place is a traditional saying that when life throws you lemons, you make lemonade. Mm-hmm. And Mama Grace didn't say it like that, but that philosophy is what allowed us to see these lemons and decide to make lemonade. So you were asking about the challenges of working with a sibling. So like I said, I'll just start with the benefits first. The benefit is then an implicit trust. We're coming from a foundation that we know we have similar values. We know that although we're very, very different in personality, at the core of us, we're very similar. Things like integrity, sacrifice, like teamwork, and creativity, like they mean a lot to us. So coming off that foundation, we do find challenges, especially being siblings. We're very, very different. I'm more of a very, very meticulous numbers guy. I like the details. I like operations. He's super creative, super creative. And so the challenges before, and I think it's less to do with siblings, it's just people. I didn't appreciate his creativity. He didn't appreciate like the details. And once we realized that, what made us different is actually what's allowing us to grow this organization. Because we're so different and we look at things so differently, he now controls some certain parts of the business that I defer to him out of respect and appreciation for his talents. Likewise, he does the same for me. So yeah, the challenges we're so different, but there's an opportunity there because we respect our differences. I like how you emphasize professional, and I'm laughing because if it's from title, we're far from professional. I studied history and philosophy. My brother he's a doctor in pharmacology. He's a pharmacist. So between that has nothing to do with business, running factories, sales, marketing, logistics. So no, we weren't professionally trained. And I think that's an advantage.
How so?
Here, in this environment, is a big advantage because many of the people here that are professionally trained, they see what can't work. And they see why things can't work. Because they've read it somewhere. They were trained to understand everything that they need. Because we weren't professionally trained, our minds were we were so open to, okay, how do we make this thing work? We didn't start with the assumption of this is the only way it could work, right? So we started literally with 2,000 naira. We started literally with hand-squeezed lemons. Everything super manual. And we had to take the next step to how do we put it in a bottle? The next step of how do we make this thing last more than 3 days without swelling? Somebody who is professionally trained knows that you need a homogenizer, knows that you need a pasteurizer, knows all these things you need, and therefore can say, I need XYZ, and it's going to cost this much. We didn't know what we needed, in terms of the machinery, in terms of the equipment, but we know that we needed to solve for fermentation. We didn't even know it was fermentation before. We needed to solve for something swelling. So we were able to start from the basic research of, okay, why would it swell? And we were less focused on what is this machine. We were more focused on what is the result. And because we didn't know, we were able to do research to get to the core of it So our first pasteurizer was a pot, heat. And our first homogenizer was a mixer. Right? But the people who knew that they needed a pasteurizer and a homogenizer, therefore they knew that they needed XYZ million naira. And they're still saving money to get this million naira, whereas we knew that we needed heat and mixers. And we were able to progress from there. You know, like, what are the frustrations of working with a sibling? There are too many, right? But it's in that like we're finding the opportunities, you know. Not having any professional backgrounds, like, that's the beauty, because we were able to be super creative. Like, that's what's allowing us to grow. What are the challenges in Nigeria? Like, as soon as you wake up, they start, right? Until you close your eyes and you get unconscious, they're still there. You know, but the thing is, and it goes back to Mama Grace from the beginning, right? I don't know how they did it, my mother and my father. You know, they just really put in our heads from a very young age that, you know, life is difficult, life is challenging, people will cheat you. You aren't going to be good enough, you're not going to be fast enough, you're not going to be anything enough. And you still need to succeed, so how are you going to do it? Right? So, you know, we don't internalize the challenges here. I think it's like a self-defense mechanism. It would be too much, right? But with all these supposed challenges, it's like we're seeing opportunities. Like, for example, one challenge was I played professional football, soccer. My brother played basketball in university, very, very good. Our mother and father told us before we came out to Nigeria how healthy all of our colleagues were and how everything is natural here. But to get anything natural is hard work in Nigeria. Okay, so that's a challenge. Many people are going to tell you how it's too hard to be healthy here, and they stay with the challenge. We saw this challenge and we saw an opportunity. It's difficult to get a cup of orange juice. Wow, if it's difficult for me, it may be difficult for somebody else. Therefore, there's an opportunity. And that's how we started doing it, like literally fresh squeezed orange juice to smoothies to lemonade. Logistics, moving up and down, is something that should be very simple, right? Now becomes a big challenge between natural and artificial obstacles in terms of people and everything. We leave this place no later than 4 o'clock on a Monday morning, 4 a.m. Tuesday through Friday, we get to leave at 4:30, means we get to sleep in a.m. So while many of our colleagues are sleeping, we're already on the road. For a year and a half, 2 years straight, we had a team of 5 people, right? Dedicated people. Me and Sean will get up 3:30, 3:45. We'd be out of our house by 4. We'd be picking up the first person by 4:05. Until we picked up the last person maybe by 4:45, 5 o'clock to head to the island, because we wanted to be there, and then we would start working our way back to make all our deliveries, going against traffic. This challenge, where many people see as challenge, we saw as an opportunity, because we said, wow, while everybody else is going to wake up when it's comfortable and be fighting traffic, we're already, like, we would touch 10, 20 different places, and everybody else would be complaining about the challenge of traffic and touch 2 or 3 places. So we've been able to grow from 2,000 naira to several hundreds of millions, from 1, 2 people to 40 something people that we directly employ, another 30 something merchandisers around the country, over 300 farmers in our network, because we're seeing the opportunities where everybody else is seeing the challenges. You know, so it's like, that's what I'm saying, it's like the wrong question, because there's no way my head doesn't work with challenge, period. My head is challenge equals opportunity, therefore, like, how do I make something beneficial from it? Yes, you should expect many new things. We have some different variants coming in, and again, these are opportunities that we're seeing with natural produce in Nigeria that people are just overlooking. That actually could be very fun, could be very exciting. They're good for you, physically, and they can also taste good. Like, you could enjoy doing good for your body. So we have some more things for another variant of lemonade coming out very soon. We have some other brands coming out to solve different, some different challenges. Some people don't like juice, but they like teas, right? Some people, they need to unwind on the weekend, and maybe lemonade is a little bit too boring. They want to spice it up a bit. We have something for them too. We are looking for the best people to work with, regardless of your race, your gender, your age, your religion. It doesn't matter to us. And coming from that, everybody's the same coming in. We saw that now we had women that before said, as a factory worker, like they were only assigned to some types of positions, or they were only even considered for some types of positions. We just want the best people. So from natural selection, we had more men coming. But because we didn't pigeonhole the women in any place, they had equal opportunity to shine, many of our women started shining. And is going back to Mama Grace, we had a very, very strong woman, her mother, that although it doesn't have to be strong woman, therefore not effeminate, not caring, not loving. She was both. So we know that that's possible. And so now we see it as our job, especially for the women, is just say, hey, like, you have equal opportunity here. You don't have an advantage, but you have equal opportunity. And we saw that that's all the women we had here needed. It's like in every key leadership position of the organization right now is a woman. And it's not because we're trying to favor women. It's like they just needed the opportunity. So now we're paying more attention, because now that these key women have grown to leadership positions, things like getting married, having children, as an organization, things we didn't consider 2-3 years ago, now we're considering about how do we treat maternity leave, how do we make our women more comfortable coming back after they've given birth, knowing that they're not behind, they still have equal opportunity to progress. So these are like the new challenges that we're having. I mean, it's a good question you asked, and I think it's important to just recognize and accept that when we first started, our packaging left a lot to be desired. We believe it's more important to start and get better, as opposed to making sure you're perfect before you roll out. But having said that, from the very beginning, we were very conscious of, we wanted to do something that was proudly Nigerian, but not saying is good for Nigeria. We wanted something that was good, period. And every time that, we're very much of, hey, shoot, aim, keep getting better. We have this philosophy of create better. So it's just reminding us continuously that this is good for today. We expect to be better tomorrow, no matter what it is. And that's what allowed us to kind of keep, have the confidence and the courage to keep changing our packaging until we got to something that was better and better. So when we were doing it, we said, we wanted to be unique. We didn't want to fit in, and we believed that we had a story, and we do have a story to tell. So having a square bottles instead of a round bottle, for example, was everybody had a round bottle. We're not trying to follow anybody. On almost anything we do, you're gonna see a story. We read. We're so grateful that our parents got us into reading, because that's like a source of inspiration that kind of keeps growing and growing when we hear stories. And we wanted to also now share part of the spirit that we have in terms of, inspiring others. So we told that story, and bigging up Mama Grace, who is a source of inspiration to us. And so now we just started, we thought about what's important. And every time, even now in a couple months, you're gonna see something different with the packaging as well, is as we grow as an organization and our understanding and our capacity towards excellence grows. Everything around us has to change with that, including our packaging. So I don't know if growing organically is the best way to grow. That's the only option that we had when we were starting. And there's a lot of, what we thought we were going to do in 2 years, now it's taking us 3-4 years. So if we could have grown faster, of course we would have loved to. However, having said that, is when we're talking about farmers specifically, we started with one lady in one market. Then we had 3 ladies in the market. Then, we were meeting different people in different markets. And as our business was growing, it actually gave us time to now start getting to know more and more people. And it got to a point that what was available in the markets wasn't enough. So we had to go to source, and then had to go to different sources. And then every time that we get to a new state, we find the major players who are also now going to different sources. So it's I think, along with like especially the women that we've seen blossom with us, I think secondary would be our farmers that we're most proud of to date. People that we literally bought maybe 10 lemons in our first purchase, and then we were big when we bought a cement bag full of lemons. Last time it was like a trailer that came to drop off hundreds of bags of lemons, and this now goes to one of them have 30, 40 people in a cooperative that everybody's bringing 2 bags, and that cooperative now has joined up with another cooperative to make sure that they bring enough lemons for us, and like a woman now, she's old mama, like is telling us about how she's feeding her child in university on selling lemons to us, and for as long as possible, like this is one thing that I think growing organically has forced us to do, is develop better relationships and closer relationships, so we're not so much transactional. Like we have built a network of suppliers, and not even in a sophisticated way. Now we're having to streamline some things to make sure that they arrive on time, the quality is at a certain level, but yeah, I think growing organically, we wouldn't have had the time to develop the quality of the relationships that we've been able to, if we didn't have to grow organically.